Now, The Noon Show. Community events and happenings featuring Carla Burbidge.
And welcome back to our noon show today. We've got an author with us. Her name is Grace. Is it Bridges? I just about forgot that. I didn't have a note in front of me. She actually is not from Minot. She's traveling the country, visiting different friends around the country. And she's got a book out and some more on the way, and she's going to fill us in on all that. So welcome, Grace, to our show. So you are from where?
I'm from New Zealand, but I'm also a citizen of Ireland, so I have 2 passports.
Wow. And so what are you doing throughout North Dakota then, and the country?
Well, a couple of years ago, I hooked up with this online writers group called the Lost Genre Guild, and been working with them for quite some time and working on helping each other market our books and things like that. So when the time came for me to leave Europe and I decided to go home to New Zealand, and I'm doing that right now, I decided to visit some of these people on my way through America, because it's kind of on the way if you're going from Europe to New Zealand. So, yeah.
Wonderful. Now, your first book has been out for a while. What is the name of that?
It's called Faith Awakened. It came
and
out last October.
We'll take a picture of it on our center. Faith Awakened, and tell us about that.
Well, it's set in Northern Ireland, and it's about this girl called Mariah, who's a computer technician, kind of a geek like me, I suppose. But anyway, it's set in the kind of a post-apocalyptic Northern Ireland situation where you've got the bad government guys, and they end up, through being really stupid, they end up releasing this deadly virus to the population, and they wipe out a whole lot of people. But then they discover that some people are immune, but they're not immune forever, and the virus keeps mutating. And so Mariah, being a computer technician, she figures out a way to get them into a cryogenic virtual reality, which means that their bodies are frozen and sealed off from the danger, but their minds are in virtual reality and experiencing life in that. And it's how they deal with that, and it's how the virtual reality is not quite what they expected it to be, and how it changes them though they didn't expect it to.
That's quite a story. I could just see that as a movie. Maybe that's the next thing for you.
Maybe.
Well, now you're working on a part 2, didn't you say?
I'm working on the sequel right now, which is where a friend of hers left Ireland in the early part of the Troubles and is travelling to America like I'm doing myself. So it's kind of a research trip as well. But I've also written 2 other books this year on completely different topics. There's one called Legendary Space Pilgrims, which, if you know the book Pilgrim's Progress, it's kind of like that, except it happens in space. And the other one's called Cyber Dublin, which is like a conspiracy theory where you've got this one company taking over the whole world, and happens in Dublin. That was a lot of fun to write. So look for those in the next couple of years.
Well, good for you. And while you're in town, you're doing a book signing on the base, correct? And that is on Monday?
That is on Monday. I'm not exactly sure what time, actually. Sorry. Karina's doing that stuff for me.
Okay, so. Karina is her friend that she's visiting in town here. In fact, she's an author, too, and has been on our show in the past. Now, tell me about coming up with these ideas. How do you do that? How do you get it all down on paper?
Well, it's a long, long process. The idea for Faith Awakened, I actually had it when I was 14, so it's been a long time coming. The one for Legendary Space Pilgrims, it came to me in a dream. I had this really crazy spaced out dream, and when I woke up I wrote it down and thought, this is going to be a novel. So, and the Cyber Dublin one was because I wanted to have like a chick lit kind of feel in a cyberpunk situation happening in Dublin with all the Irish humour, which I love, so that was fun.
Well, it's so good to have you in Minot. Is there anything else you want to say before we have to go today?
Well, I'm keeping my readers up to date with a video blog, which you can find on gracebridges.com. Just click on videos. And yeah, it's been real fun. Thank you for having me. Yeah,
at gracebridges.com, we've got it up on the screen, and you can find out all the information you need to about the books. And we really appreciate having you here. It was so nice to meet you. We're going to talk about candy with the YWCA. That's next.